Hello and welcome to the Money Charts channel. Today's date comes in that of Sunday, the 27th day of September, 2020. My name is Derek and this is the Money Charts channel where, like always, all bets, trades, and other like within each his own risk and their own reward. And I say that all the time. It's not easy this time to say. And a lot of times it might not be easy to do, but I know for myself, at least I can state as a veteran or someone who's been in the bankroll business of trying to manage my funds, try to grow it, learn how to lose, handle losses, both on a numerical mathematical level, but on a level within like an emotional side, and same thing on the W's, the win sides as well, and really taking emotions out of the game. Cryptos is what really helped me do that, because I knew going into the business as aggressively as I did that, what I expected to happen pretty much kind of did of the big volatile moves, that you just got to be able to handle the swings well, and on the reward side, risk side, manage things all the way through. Okay, didn't plan on talking about that long intro, but I did want to stay because I'm going to be going over my opinions a lot. That's why I like to say it too, for two reasons. One, because I do believe risk reward management is job number one. Anyone who can implement that in that type of game, I think, can get a lot of advantage from such. But even furthermore, sometimes I'm just going to go and say, yeah, I think this is going to happen, and one of these videos is going to be just that with Bitcoin. Because what I got to say about BTC as we move forward on the multiple time frames is, well, this could get sick. The moves that could happen. Now, we'll go 1 minute, 5 minute, all the way up to the monthly. So each one of these candles represents 60 seconds of data. I'm using TradingView for the site, and I like the 18 average of highs and lows, and they are front weighted. And to me, I think, well, I've been using it all the time. I just haven't stopped using it. I think they're great. Anyway, so it's just a bunch of choppy stuff here on the one. When you look at this, nothing, no trend really whatsoever for either that on the up or the downside. We can start to get some more stories to such when we move this towards the 5. We've been seeing just within this a good up move. We had this nice little set of multiple lows, and then just a fantastic play after breaking this level of resistance. And when you break key levels of resistance, significant concise moves to next levels oftentimes are in store, and this was the case here. Since this point, we've had, well, sideways consolidation. So we've established support, established resistance. Situations like this, well, you know what, it's wait and see. You really can't get any, just only knowing this 1 minute and 5 minute that I've shown you, really can't get anything too much other than if you break down below the support, we're probably going to come back down to where we came in here. And if the next concise move up here, small move to get to this previous resistance at 10.8. But who knows? Well, we'll see. It's going to be good. Probably be good. But what would happen if you make new highs? And well, let's just take a look at longer term time frames and 15-minute chart. Amongst this, we had a set where we established this level of resistance even higher than that. So that can tell us that if we get past this, that maybe we can make a move on this time frame to the 10, 8, and 20 or 10, 8, 20 level. We can see that it attempted to get above the 18 average of highs at the 22.30 stamp, but no go, and it's still just consolidating to that point. So you really need to see at this stage, get 10.791 area. If you see it moving above that, okay, we're going to look towards getting outside of the 18 correctionary phase into the above the highs, which is uptrend high. Usually big up moves can happen in that, and that's when they do when you escape the 18 average. Again, another reason why I like to use it, but this is where it now starts to get serious as we move to every single time frame. The next 4 after this as well is telling me OMG kind of stuff. So as it goes, we are looking at what is now the 4th period in which this market is pausing above the 18 F highs. This is showing strength among such. In other words, verbiage that I like to use when I'm doing these videos. And another way of me putting that this looks very positive and bullish. And when we look at this from the situation just by looking at only the data within, we can see back at this point that we had this kind of range and broke down below support. Amongst breaking support, you establish your new support that's lower. Okay, so now coming back to where we came from, this is all that type of stuff in here. It never broke down, and it didn't even really did that much of a sideways action. It had boom, 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 all these big green candles, and it didn't resist this area. Thus a fast, concise move, and we supported what we were supposed to resist. Okay, so an attempted breakout here. I call that a failure in the breakout, but success on the correction. Another situation in breaking it, and for all you don't know, this could just be one quick buy for all you know, and it's just one person buying huge, and other exchanges didn't have this type of move. Probably did, but with that being said, either way, it did have good correctionary move, resistance, and I notice we have in here, we're doing these lows with higher lows, and now holding and staying in this area where it hasn't been able to stay at. This is what resistance has been on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different times, and now for 4 consecutive periods, it is just staying at the area, not going up, not going down. And this to me just looks poised for a breakout. Now let's take a look at this amongst the 4-hour. I don't have to draw Fibonacci in because I can tell this is a 61.8% area from this high to this low. And amongst it, we can, there's the failed resistance in here. What didn't resist where it came from, it just bashed through previous high, just the code for me, PREV, previous high. And then, again, like I mentioned, just all that beautiful stuff. And now we're seeing, again, more and more and a lot of strength amongst the 18 average of highs after you make this move. So it's just this sideways consolidation to me is looking very, very productive. And the 61.8% from this high to this low, which I suppose I could calculate. And what I do, I'll take the high and I'll divide it by the low. So this is the high. I can see on top it says 1179.79. So 11180. And I'll use my calculator to do this for me. And I'm going to divide it by what the lowest number is. And the lowest number on here says we got, looks like the 136. We'll route it to 137. So 10,137. And I'm really looking for the 0.618 because that's the 61.8% retracement, pretty much where we're at right now, which is 10,769. And there we are. It's 81. So it's been paddling, playing within that that level, and there's that 6.9 pretty much right there, piercing a little extra like it did a couple times, and I'll just put a line pretty much near the 69 number. There we go, very close. And we can see just by looking at what we were looking at before, all of the resistance at that line. Yeah, this to me is poised for a phenomenal move. Let's now go to the daily chart. And amongst the daily, we have the earlier gains, and I do really need to show more periods on this level, because what we have been doing is staying amongst the year-to-date highs after having a global market investing fall of everything. Everything was going down pretty much at an investment level. Gold, silver, stocks, cryptos, all at the same time. But a magnificent recovery to get back to the area of previous high. And it did so at the end of April, and it has not retraced lower. It had a lot of support, and then big move, and then a little bit of sideways move down. But since this moved down, what has occurred is its first move, and it went to where it came from. That's both bullish and bearish, and you can say it's more whatever you want to, but it's bearish because that's what happens when you reverse the trend. You go down, you break support, you establish new support, you're then going to have a rally, which will go to where you came from probably. Then you'll go to this little area, and then in time, like as you're looking at this now, it would break down lower. That's if it's bearish. Now, if it's bullish, both bullish and bearish, are we in a bullish trend in the grand scheme of things? Oh, hell yeah, we are. So that's where you come in. And I'm seeing this on the break above this, for this selling to be a fail and this sale to be a fail, on the situation of this breaking out above, the potential for this is magnificent. And now let's take a look at the final two time frames, the weekly and the monthly chart. And within the week, and I'm switching the timestamp to Bitstamp because I'll have more data moving forward. It was on the US dollar tether on Binance before. This is a weird inverted head and shoulders pattern. I mean, it's kind of like maybe one on steroids or something, in the sense of it's, I don't know. This is the head to the inverted head and shoulders pattern, if you want to call it. And any of this type of action would be the left. So all of this type of stuff in here is the right. That's why I call it really weird. But the reason why I'm bringing this up is because that the same reasons how they form and why there's such a bullish indicator and situation is pretty much in the same ballpark here. But I think even stronger here, which says a lot, I think. As it goes, we had this resistance here, which was where we supported here. And then the attempt to break down, which failed. And what a failure it was, because it went right towards this point. But, I mean, that didn't sustain itself. And most certainly a failed breakdown. So as it goes, you talk about you have that move instantly. So you realize if you break down the support, you're probably going to find support halfway, maybe between here and here. And that's pretty much what it did. Or some noticeable level where it's going to be noticeably below this and noticeably above the previous low. And it didn't resist in here. There's none of this breaking down. There's been no breakdown attempts ever since this thing has went down, because every single time it has went to the 18 average of lows, and it's only been recently, it hasn't had any even attempt in breaking below it. But what does it mean if it breaks out to the upside when I see a pattern like this? Because if all of these failed, all the selling being rejected in the nature that I do see it and such, that I love using the word if, but it's basically what it is. And if is awesome in the sense of, okay, when you're looking to do something, I want to make sure this situation happens, then I'm going to do that, and so on. So oftentimes as a trader, you might be like, okay, I'm not going to buy or sell this until whatever happens. And if it doesn't happen, then it just doesn't go through. Sometimes I can remember looking back at Dash back in 2017. Oh my goodness, this breaks above previous high. I'll show it after it's over. It's just going to go. And I mean, that was the previous high and it was over. And you couldn't buy there and you would have lost you would have lost big. Anyway, as it goes on the break, we'd be looking at a move to previous high. And it would probably happen very concise, which means relatively fast. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7 periods. And that's 1 or 2 months on the weekly chart. After, of course, you start to see it breaking through. But after this selling in here, I don't see what you normally would if it's going to be a reversal. And it really shouldn't have even... Why didn't it sell off first in June and end of June, start of July, when it kind of should have? And then you have this move to go up and stay in the area of the previous high, which is a strong self. And now the situation after this one sell-off to support where we came from and to do so successfully. And then if you see it basically 11.5, 11.6, that is where you might be looking at, okay, what's the chances of like 20, 30% moves in the very near term? And a hell of a lot better than most times would be my answer. But it could even get more crazy when we consider the monthly term time frame, as it's never even had any down move yet. So that's one thing to keep in mind as well. Of course, as it's going now, it looks like it's going to be a while before there would be. In the stock market, on the quarterly and those long-term charts don't have much itself either. However, with that being said, you have this high, yada yada. This is one of the two worst situations it has, which is it goes below the 18 for the first time, which means you're going to establish support and never break it. And not only that, but never test it again at both times. Then you get back to within the 18. Okay, so you get back to within the 18. That means, okay, you can resume the trend if you go above the 18. Or you can work within that reversal you're trying if you can go below the 18. And of course, it goes above the 18. Right? It goes above it, and then yada yada. Just an okay. No. When I say okay, spectacular move. So same thing as the 2014 thing as far as how the story goes. You are in an uptrend. You've slipped below the 18 lows. Thus, you are going to establish a support at some time. Now, that's the game. You're going to establish it at some point. And then you got to have that 18 test. Now, if you go above it, that doesn't mean you're free to go on the bullish level or non-bearish level and everything's fine, because you can go above it, then lose control of the 18 lows, come back down to previous low, and then boom, you're testing these previous areas. Of course, that's not happening, but that's just saying what could, of course. But as mentioned, if you get above the 18 highs, that's fair play again to resume the trend. And what a phenomenal trend, of course, it's been. So it makes that statement. It's like you're in the classroom. Hey guys, yeah, I'm resuming the trend upwards. Okay, oh thanks for letting me know. Good luck, good job on your attempt in doing such. And then you fail a bit in here, and especially this. But holding it, I use the verbiage holding and staying above or below whatever a certain thing. Well, that's holding and staying above the 18 average of lows, right there, because it did have a noticeable dip below. But then it recovered it extremely fast within its own period. But now we are on month number 5. After that event and showing strength, more verbiage, amongst the 18 average of highs. The first two, it resisted it. And ever since the breakout in the July one, we've now just supporting this area. Which means even on a smaller statement, yep, we've had this correction. We're going to get going here. Maybe not saying it quietly, so maybe you can hear it, maybe you can't. Some people can. But in a move to this level, that's just when I use the words weak resistance, I truly believe that that's what would happen, and it does seem as if this is poised again. So what levels would I need to see this at for me to be very confident that, and I have to say the quick answer is a break of previous resistance in here. 13,880, and if we're close to it, I'm going to be liking the chance, of course, it's going to break it anyway. But 14,000 low change, mid change, 14.2, 14.4, 14.6 in that area. You're going to go to maybe drive somewhere. Maybe you're going to go get something to eat. Maybe tour around for a couple hours and come back and you see it 17.5 the next time. Or you just check your phone a few hours later. You could, oh my goodness, I went up 15% in the last 2 hours. Those types of things could very, very easily happen amongst those time frames. And on the situation, if it breaks this 20 number, I mean, this move here was just a phenomenal move to the upside as it was. And I remember I mentioned this whole dash thing, so let me just see if I can find it. It's not going to be hard to find. I need to look at like Bittrex or something because Binance wasn't around back then. Oh, these lines I put in. And it was at these highs. So let's yeah, it would have been me looking towards a break. I remember talking about this curve pattern in here. Maybe it would have been something amongst this area. It's been so long ago now. This is July. That would kind of make sense, I suppose. I don't think there's anything much going on. Like, a lot of these other markets are going down against Bitcoin and have since when? Oh, in this case, this is no. This kind of is a little different, but this is December 21st or so, and it didn't get above this high, albeit close. A lot of markets did get above their intra-period highs from before that had made their highs around the third week of January of 2018, and then it's all been going down since. And then around this time, there's been situations where markets have tried rallies here and there, but the primary trend has been lower. And the primary trend that ended around January 2018 all started off in early 2017. This one was one of the leading indicators. This started like pretty much right at like Christmas Eve or Boxing Day. This is December 26th of 2016. It's pretty much March of 2017 when a lot of these altcoins just had a huge, fantastic move against the Bitcoin. I call those dartboard rallies. Whether we'll have them again or not is to be determined, but I still believe there's a good chance that there will. And when there is, you can just see how fast these things move. This went from like 0.01% up to like 11%. So like an 11x move in a very quick period of time. And that's what these cryptocurrencies have large potentials of doing, is having just monster large scores over the very relatively quick period term time frame. Thank you for tuning in. Have yourself a great day. Bye-bye.